All right, I got cut off for a little bit there. I don't have my camera guy with me today, so you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm back. This is Andrew Guy with TEDx Speaker.com, empowering you to create your greatest impact where you live, work, and play. So we're talking about living life without regrets. The reason why, because I'm working on a new book that's coming out, and we're talking about people who are just living with this massive regret, and the regret becomes the disease that actually take their lives. And I was looking at some research, and it was talking about 9 things or several things that people regret when they are on their deathbed. One of the top ones is that I wish I had loved the people that were in my life. I wish I had spent more time with my spouse, wish I had valued my spouse, wish I had valued my children, wish I didn't work so hard on my job, but work more on my relationships with people. In a nutshell, really what they're saying is that the regret comes because they are seeking things as opposed to people. So that's number one. If you don't have anything to write on, I promise you, please write on your phone, text on your phone, get a piece of paper to write down, because the things that I'm about to share with you right now, it's going to help you in terms of living your life with meaning and without regrets. Instead of saying living your life, I'm going to start with your day, and I'm going to go back up and go with your moment. I'm going to deal with your moment, then I'm going to go with your day, I'm going to go with your day to your week, and then your week to your month, and then your month to your year, and then after that, you can just basically expound upon that. You can see how that can expand in any area. Now, you're going to hear talking around me because really I'm at the library right now. I'm actually binge reading, so to speak. This week is my binge reading. I have like 7 books that I'm actually reading, and my goal is to get them finished before the month is done. So for Black History Month, I don't sit around and just wallow in my blackness, so to speak. I don't sit around and say, oh well, I'm black, so somebody owes me something. It's not about that. For me, Black History Month is about re-educating myself so I can be better to my family first and to those that I serve. Black History Month doesn't mean, oh, I have a dream. Black History Month means to me, I'm going to live my dream. So most people go around and they play the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech, and that inspires them. Good for you. But I think we're past that now. It's not about just having dreams, because many people are having dreams, and their dreams are dying with them. They're going with them into the grave. And so it's about living the dream. So instead of saying I have a dream, I am living my dream. And when you live your dream, you're basically inspiring other people who are having dream to give birth to their dream. You want to think of yourself as an obstetrician, basically a person who delivers the baby. And so when you live your dream, you're basically giving people permission to live yours also. That's really what it's about. And so living life without regrets is a good example to help you understand that you are a catalyst to somebody else. You don't have to look very far to find out who you inspire. You don't have to look very far to find out who is it that you are influencing. You don't have to go on Facebook to find out who you are impacting. Just look around you. It could be at your church, it could be at your job, it could simply be where you play. And those are the areas that I focus on in my portfolio, where you live, work, and play. Why do I pick those areas? Because most times we're either working, or we're playing, or we're at home. So live, let me deal with that, for example. So to clarify, because I've heard several other people going around and saying the same thing, that, oh, well, you live, work, and play. Yes. Many of those are people who are watching my video. Good for you. I'm glad that I can be an example, but it doesn't mean that you copy the information. It means that you go and find your own, because we are creative beings and we are created by a great creator. So there is no reason for you to copy. Just go ahead and be yourself, because you have a message too that you need to give. And the good thing about it is that if you don't give what's inside of you, then you are going to miss your purpose. And if you use somebody else's message, then I guess you miss your purpose too and your assignments. It's like taking somebody else's work and turning it into your teacher and expect to graduate. You won't graduate, and you will not even make it to your full potential. Why? Because you're busy living someone else's life. All right. So be authentic, be yourself, get your message, and make sure your message is something that it's not something you just give because you're giving it because you're trying to get a like or because you're trying to get comments. You're doing it because you're really trying to transform somebody's life. When this message came to me some 10 years ago, I found out that there are four most important areas in someone's life. And based on the research that I've done, it's where you live, it's where you work, and where you play, and where you pray. Those are the most important areas in anyone's life. And so I'm working on a book. The book is coming out very soon. I'll send a shout out when the launch is coming. Yes, it's been delayed, but it's better to be delayed than never, than denied. So when I talk about where you live, work, and play, where you live is your home. It's that environment that is conducive to growth. That's where you nurture your family. You do everything for your family. And as I said, where you live, it doesn't mean that it's in your home, because your home is an environment. Your house is different from your home. Your house is a location, and it could be on any street, it can be on any block. It's just a location. Your home is the environment. Your environment can be in your car, the environment can be at the library, your environment can be at the grocery store, it could be anywhere, and that's your home. That's where you use to regulate, and you use it to nurture your children. You don't have to be in your house to create your home. You can be at the park with your family playing, having a wonderful picnic. That also is a home. So where you live, that's where you are. That's where you nurture. That's where you raise your family. That's where you live, right? So that's where the messages come from. And I had to live that. Now, where you work is simply where you serve your gift. Where do you serve your gift? Are you an accountant? Are you a lawyer? Are you a doctor? Are you a teacher? All these are different areas where you serve your gift. So that's what it's about. Where you work is you serving your gifts, your speciality, your expertise. These are the things that you use to work. Where you play is really self-care. How do you take care of yourself? What do you do to take care of yourself? Do you run? Do you jog? Do you read? What do you do? Do you watch a movie? It's anything and everything that you do to take care of yourself. That's where you play. That's playtime. That's me time. That's taking care of me time. That's self-rejuvenation. That's what it's about. Anything that you do to take care of yourself, man, you're just playing. You are just playing. That's what it's about. That's where you have joy. You have fun. It doesn't mean you can't have joy and fun in all the other areas. It simply means that this particular thing is about taking care of me. Think of yourself as an engine, and you're driving, and everywhere you drive, you're adding wear and tear to your car. Every so often you have to take that car in and get it serviced, right? You have to get the tires rotated, you have to get the oil changed, all those different things, right? When you do that, you're really playing. The same thing with you. If you're working 6-7 days a week and you don't take time out to make sure you're adding enough hydration, you're not drinking enough water, you're not doing your exercises, you're not running, you're not stretching, all of a sudden, you're no longer playing. You know what happened? You're now hurting. Instead of playing, having fun, and living more joyous with meaning, you're stressing. And the stress level will go high. It affects you in multiple ways. And here's the crazy part. When the stress comes in, it affects where you work, and it definitely affects where you live. So the play is vital to you being successful in all those other areas. My role in life, I help you to create your greatest impact where you live, work, and play. That's basically what it is. How does that help you? I may be called to go into businesses to do presentation on life enrichment seminars, because that's what I've been doing for this past couple of months. I'm going to be doing some talks at nursing homes, retirement homes, and so forth. And the reason why that is because when I've been doing the research on living with regrets, I realized that most of the people who are in nursing homes, some of them are not happy at all. And when they're blessed to get a visitor, they are so happy. Why? Because it means somebody remembers them, somebody cares about them, somebody they have done something in their past that impacted somebody, and they want to come back and say thank you before their eyes are closed. You should see the look on their face when you walk into the nursing home and that person just like, wow, you remembered me. That's what it's about, okay? So before you live with regrets, I'm going to give you some pointers that you can do to live actively now, so you can take control of your life instead of living with regrets. Okay, now before I go into that, I want to say this: it's not about what you have, it's not about the house, not about the car, it's not about the model of the car, it's not about even the fancy clothes that you wear. It is the meaning that you get every time you take a breath. You know why? Because when the breath is gone, nothing that you have, nothing that you wear, not even the earth that carries your behind to the cemetery makes sense. You don't even know where you are. You are absent from the body. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that whatever life you're living now is with meaning. It's with meaning. And what do I mean by meaning? That it means something to you. You're not going through life haphazardly, just going through, oh, I'm doing this just for the sake of doing it. I'm working for the sake of working. No. You want to make sure where you live, work, and play, where you live, there is meaning at your home. Where you work, there is meaning at your work. And where you play, there is meaning there too. It is all about this meaning. What does it mean to you? Because when it means something to you guys, you're going to put everything that you have into it. You are going to show up. What do I mean by show up? It doesn't mean that you just attend. It means that when you show up, that means everything about you, your vibrance, everything is there. When you're working, people will know that you love what you do and you're doing what you love. That's what it's about. There is something just radiant that come out of your spirit when you're doing something with all of your heart. You know, if you see somebody that does something that haphazardly doing it, I'm just doing it for the sake of it, I'm just going through the motion. Could you imagine? There's a major difference between the person that's doing that than the person who really loves what they're doing. That's what we're talking about here. So how do you live this life without regret? So when you come to the end of your day, or when you're on your deathbed, and then you see family members around you, or if anyone remembers you, standing around you, what would you want them to say to you? And what would you say to them if you still have the strength to speak? So I want to give you 5 things. I'm not going to talk to you long because, as a matter of fact, I'm binge reading right now. I have several books that I'm actually reading, so I have to get them done. But I wanted to stop by to give you this information because I'm actually going to send out this month newsletter. If you didn't get it, go over to andrewguyspeaks.com. Click on the pop-up, put in your information so I can send you out this newsletter for this month, because we're talking about the same issue as living life without regrets, because the things that you fail to do are what's going to add to your regrets in life.